Hi YouTube, my name is Jay Brown. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a vlog for you guys, Coach versus Dooney. Which one do you prefer and why? So I think, as you guys can tell on my channel, I am definitely team Coach. Oh, let's get into these braids real quick. Remember I told y'all last week I was getting my hair braided? New hair, who this? Can't tell me nothing. I swear braids take like 10 years off of you. The only thing that's telling my business is that gray streak in the front of my head. Other than that, who's not 35? Hello. So we're talking about Coach versus Dooney. And you guys know I love me some Coach. I am definitely a Coach girl. But the brand that actually made me love handbags is Dooney and Bourke. I have a variety of Coach bags, a wide variety, and I have some Dooney as well, but I have way more Coach than I do Dooney, and I think I prefer Coach, and I'll tell you why. So let's go ahead and get into it, you guys. The first reason that I tend to gravitate towards Coach more is because of their styles and the variety. I feel like Coach's styles tend to be a bit more youthful, and they have more variety in terms of sizes. Now, some of this honestly could be a function of me not being as familiar with Dooney and Bourke's full lineup. I love both brand styles, but I feel like Dooney styles tend to be for more mature audiences, and I'm not saying that like only older people like Dooney. That's not the case at all, but I feel like because of the materials they tend to use, the sizes of their bags, I think just an older audience would appreciate those bags, because as we get older, the more stuff we carry until we get out of that, I don't know, for me, out of that child rearing stage where you don't have to carry everything in the kitchen sink. I also feel like Dooney's styles tend to, they're not as trendy. They are very much consistent, and Coach definitely follows trends. It definitely will hop on a color trend, a silhouette trend way faster than Dooney and Bourke will. So I feel like that's one of the reasons I gravitate towards Coach a bit more, because like I said, they are trendier. They do change up their colors, introduce new colors, new prints, new materials much more often than Dooney and Bourke does. On the flip side, Dooney does have, to me, a better quality of leather overall. They have a wider variety in their leathers. If your main source of Coach bags is from the outlet, then that leather's okay, but it's not going to be as good as the leathers that you get from the Coach retail store. Even with the Coach retail offerings, I feel like they don't have as much variety in the types of leather that they provide in their products. I actually prefer the look of the Coach signature print to the Dooney and Bourke signature print, with the exception of the DB75. I think that print is gorgeous, but overall I love how Coach offers the signature print, especially at the outlet, in a variety of colors and prints. It is just really cute to me. If you are into signature prints, then you know, each of us have our own preferences, but I just tend to prefer the Coach signature print, and I love the variety of colors and silhouettes that it is offered in comparison to the Dooney and Bourke signature print. Like, I don't like the Dooney and Bourke Greta signature print. I believe that's what it's called. I'm not a big fan of that, even though I do have one older bag in that print. I just don't gravitate towards it. So I think for that reason alone, just the variety of colors and more trendier, or the trendier styles and silhouettes, I prefer Coach. Now, when it comes to quality and consistency, I honestly think that Dooney beats Coach in terms of quality. You can get extremely high quality Dooney and Bourke bags at almost any price point. They don't differentiate between factory or made for retail. You know, their quality is going to be consistent across the board. Their materials are going to be consistent across the board. Over the years, I have not seen Dooney cheapen out with any of their materials, any of their findings. they're pretty much the same in terms of quality as they were back when my grandmother first started carrying Coach. And that says a lot in today's, in today's market. Meanwhile, Coach, whether it's retail or outlet, I can absolutely see where they've cut corners with some of the findings, some of the finishings, like the leather interiors on the wallets. I don't even think they're real leather. I don't know what those little slip pockets are, but they're flimsy and they're cheap. And Dooney has not done that. So I absolutely think that they have better quality and consistency. I don't hear about defects and product issues nearly as often in the Dooney community as I do with the retail Coach pieces, especially. I really don't hear about it honestly with the Coach outlet, but I think for that price point, people are not going to be as particular. But with the Coach retail pieces, there's all sorts of issues that I've seen throughout the purse community, whether it's popped stitches, poorly packaged items during shipping, so then it was, damaged, dented products, just weird things like that. Now, yeah, so I do feel that some content creators do harp on Coach's quality unfairly. Now, I will say, if it truly is a quality issue, then by all means send it back, because for the amount of money that we pay for our things, especially if you're paying full retail price, the bag should be to your specifications or your expectations. But I don't think the quality is that far gone, as much as we tend to nitpick sometimes in the bag community. The quality issue that I tend to hear about with Dooney is quality of their packaging when it arrives. I don't know what is happening between the item leaving their warehouse to reaching the consumer, but those Dooney and Bourke boxes just always seem to be put through the ringer. Even mine, and I live pretty close to one of the distribution centers. It's ridiculous. And even mine show up damaged. I don't understand what I think overall, consistently, Dooney gives you more bang for your buck in terms of the quality of the materials used to make the items. But in general, regardless of the materials being used to make all of these bags and SLGs, I feel like prices are going up across the board. So, even the prices at the Coach outlet are slowly but surely creeping up. And I don't know, with the way that the prices are creeping up, if I am willing to continue, or I know I'm not willing to continue paying full price for most of the items at the Coach outlet. So that is something that I am keeping in mind, and I am trying to be a bit more selective, or I need to be a bit more selective in the items that I'm selecting, because I have space issues, and so I simply cannot add every bag that I see or like into my collection. I really love, in terms of price and value, I love that Dooney does not have specific made for outlet pieces. I know back in the day they would put some of the defective pieces in their outlet stores, but now for the most part, for the overstock items, they will sell them on I Love Dooney, and that's that. So I love that there's no two different sets or two different hierarchies of products. So you don't have people people can't frown or look down on certain types of Dooney products, because they're all made with the same quality and production standards in mind, and the same materials. Because a lot of the products that you see at the Coach retail versus the Coach outlet are not made, to me, with the same standards and specifications, even though I do feel that the Coach outlet items are still good quality. I don't know, they aren't the same, but I still just prefer Coach. I don't know, so maybe it's just the style, it's the trendiness, it's the frequency of the drops, because I feel like Dooney does not drop new silhouettes nearly as often as Coach does. So I think there's a lot more excitement around Coach. And in terms of accessibility, I find that Coach is much more accessible than Dooney, and I'm not just saying that because I no longer have a store nearby. I feel like you just see Coach way more often than you do Dooney, and I think there are more stores available in general, both retail and outlet. Of course, I don't know, in my area, there are fewer retail stores than there are outlets. I don't know how that works out nationwide, but in general, I do find that Coach is much more accessible, and because they have a more varied price point between retail and outlet, I feel like their products end up being a bit more affordable, because I feel like the average person is not catching those good sales that y'all Dooney Divas catch. I don't know how y'all do it, but you guys find amazing steals and deals, especially when you're shopping on the I Love Dooney website. In terms of brand and product longevity, I think both brands have proven that they are going to stand the test of time, and honestly, they are American luxury. I don't care if people say that, you know, contemporary bags can't be luxury. I'm sorry, the way that some of these Louis Vuitton bags and some of the higher end Coach bags are being made, they absolutely can compete with any of the European fashion houses. So they are very much American luxury. They have been around for a long time. Dooney and Bourke has been around since 1975, and Coach has been around since 1941. So these companies are not going anywhere, and I love that for us. I also think that their products are very long lasting. Even the Coach outlet pieces, I haven't worn anything out. I find that they all last much longer for me in comparison to brands like Michael Kors. The amount of wear and tear that I have experienced on like a Michael Kors bag in comparison to Coach outlet, let alone Coach retail, I've never seen that type of wear and tear. It's taken years for wear and tear to show up on some of my Coach retail pieces. So I think that they all are long lasting, and then Dooney, if you take care of it, it just wears like iron, especially those thicker leathers, the old school Dooney, and even the old school Coach bags, they just wear like cast iron. Like, you cannot mess them up. I mean, you can, but you have to really try. Last but not least, I really think I prefer Coach because, like I said, it's just a bit more relevant and up to date. They keep up with trends a bit more, and they are much more visible in social media, in media in general. And so if you kind of want to just have that cool factor, that it factor, Coach is killing the game right now in terms of creating it bags, creating trends. I think they have really just taken over and really reestablished themselves as the brand to watch. Whereas Dooney absolutely is timeless and it's classic and it's beautiful, and you really can never go wrong with a Dooney bag. But I know for a fact younger girls are not checking, and by younger girls I do mean those under 30. They are not checking for Dooney and Bourke like that. I had a coworker tell me years ago that Dooney and Bourke, and Coach, to be honest, she was in reference to both of them, she said they were for old ladies, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, she calling me old? Like, what's happening here? But it's because she just had a preference for like Kate Spade and Betsy Johnson. So I could understand if you're looking for fun and whimsical pieces. At that time, Coach had not began to reemerge and connect with younger consumers. So I could see that perception, but most definitely I feel that perception, or that rule does absolutely apply to Dooney. Dooney is not out here creating it bags for the under 30 crowd. They're just not. They're not. And do I love them? Yes. So I think for all of those reasons that I've shared, I just prefer Coach. I just tend to gravitate towards it more. I love the variety of styles. I love the colors. I love the silhouettes. I love the drops. I'm not loving these prices or even the more frequent quality issues, whether real or made up. But I think that overall both brands are fantastic. I will definitely continue to add pieces from both into my collection, but you will always see more Coach in my collection than Dooney, just because I'm a Coach girl. I'm a Coachy through and through. So I want to hear from you guys in the comments. Which brand do you prefer? Do you prefer Coach? Do you prefer Dooney? And why? Sound off in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button if you have not already, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, YouTube.